MITAKUYE. Trini Christine Mason here, and this month is a special month because it is the month of my birthday and my mother's birthday. And I have recently had the honor of having this accident happen where I had been exploring and called to check out certain shops here in Bellingham, Washington. And while exploring and attempting to find other places that are kind of you have to be careful with wording, yes. A crystal shop, perhaps you can call it. A shop called Karma Cards. And Karma Cards was ironically right next to a thrift store I was called to go into. And as many of you know, I absolutely love picking. And I was just following my intuition, my guidance, where I was led to go. I did come across a very beautiful blanket that I have been working with, that I have a thought, an idea. It might be from Guatemala or something like that, but I'm not really sure. It could just be reminding me of that energy. And while I was there, you know, I had the idea in the back of my mind, possibly calling in something special for my mom. And something sentimental or magical, you know, just leaving a space. I felt called to go in there, and I ended up coming across an identical copy of that same exact book that we talked about before, the children's version, and it's like almost like an identical copy. And I was feeling called to randomly open this before I am sending this off to my mother for her birthday, right? And again, what are the chances of me finding like an identical copy of this exact book in there? You know, it was very interesting, especially as this stuff is becoming like kind of new and in my life and kind of just interesting to me. And I have randomly opened to Lamentations, and I found it to be kind of interesting and almost poetic. And I'm called to share with you this chapter here of this, and together we will experience it. And for me, it's personally my first time. You know, I've read pieces of this, so here we are. Okay, it goes. In the book of Lamentations, Jeremiah writes about pain and suffering. Jerusalem is totally destroyed and empty. God's people are forced to leave. Now they are away in Babylon. They are hungry and tired. They feel lost. They cry out to God. They know God is punishing them because they have sinned. Jeremiah is sad, but he still praises God. Jeremiah knows that God is faithful. He will not let his people suffer forever. And it goes, the city of Jerusalem is so empty. It used to be full of people, but now it's like a woman whose husband has died. She used to be great among the nations. She was like a queen among the kingdoms, but now she is a slave. Jerusalem sobs bitterly at night. Tears run down her cheeks. None of her friends comforts her. All those who were going to help her have turned against her. They have become her enemies. After Judah's people had suffered greatly, they were taken away as prisoners. Now they live among the nations. They can't find any place to rest. All those who were chasing them have caught up with them, and they can't get away. The roads to Zion are empty. No one travels to its appointed feast. All the public places near its gates are deserted. Its priests groan. Its young women are sad, and Zion itself sobs bitterly. Its enemies have become its masters. They have an easy life. The Lord has brought suffering to Jerusalem because its people have committed so many sins. Its children have been taken away as prisoners. Their enemies have forced them to leave their homes. The city of Zion used to be full of glory, but now its glory has faded away. Its princes are like deer. They can't find anything to eat. They are almost too weak to get away from those who hunt them down. Jerusalem's people are suffering and wandering. They remember all the treasures they used to have, but they fell into the hands of their enemies, and no one was there to help them. Their enemies looked at them. They laughed because Jerusalem had been destroyed. Its people have committed many sins. They have become polluted. All those who honor Jerusalem now look down on it. They look at it as if it were a naked woman. The city groans and turns away in shame. Her skirts are dirty. She didn't think about how things might turn out. Her fall from power amazed everyone, and no one was there to comfort her. She said, Lord, please pay attention to how much I'm suffering. My enemies have won the battle over me. Jerusalem's enemies took away all of its treasures. Its people saw strangers enter its temple. The Lord had commanded them not to do that. All of Jerusalem's people groan as they search for bread. They trade their treasures for food just to stay alive. They say, Lord, look at us. Think about our condition. Everyone looks down on us. They also say, all of you who are passing by, don't you care about what has happened to us? Just look at our condition. Has anyone suffered the way we have? The Lord has brought all of this on us. He has made us suffer. His anger has burned against us. He set fire down from heaven. It went deep down into our very bones. He spread a net to catch us by the feet. He stopped us right where we were. He made our city empty. We are sick all of the time. We must carry the heavy load of our sins. He tied it on us with his hands. Our sins are heavy on our necks. The Lord has taken away our strength. He has handed us over to our enemies. We can't win the battle over them. The Lord has refused to accept any of our soldiers. He has sent for an army to crush our young men. We are like grapes in the Lord's winepress. He has stomped on us even though we are his very own people. That's why we are sobbing. Tears are flowing from our eyes. No one is near to comfort us. No one can heal our spirits. Our children don't have anything. Our enemies are much too strong for us. Zion reaches out its hands, but no one is there to comfort its people. The Lord has ordered the neighbors of Jacob's people would become their enemies. Jerusalem has become polluted among them. Its people say the Lord always does what is right, but we refuse to obey his commands. Listen, all of you nations, pay attention to how much we are suffering. Our young women and young men have been taken away as prisoners. We called out to those who were going to help us, but they turned against us. Our priests and elders died in the city. They were searching for food just to stay alive. Lord, see how upset we are. We are suffering deep down inside. Our hearts are troubled. Again and again, we have refused to obey you. Outside the city, people are being killed with swords. Inside, there is nothing but death. People have heard us groan, but no one is here to comfort us. Our enemies have heard all about our troubles. What you have done makes them happy, so please judge them just as you said you would. Let them become like us. Please pay attention to all of their sinful ways. Punish them as you have punished us. You judged us because we have committed so many sins. We groan all the time and our hearts are weak. See how the Lord covered the city of Zion with the cloud of his anger. He threw Israel's glory down from the heaven to earth. When he was angry, he turned his back on his own city. Without pity, the Lord swallowed up all of the homes of Jacob's people. When he was angry, he tore down the forts of the people of Judah. He brought their kingdom and its princes down to the ground in dishonor. When he burned with anger, he took away Israel's power. He pulled back his powerful right hand as the enemy approached. His burning anger blazed out in Jacob's land. It burned up everything that was near it. Like an enemy, the Lord got his bow ready to use. He had a sword in his right hand. Like an enemy, he destroyed everything that used to be pleasing to him. His anger blazed out like fire. It burned up the homes in the city of Zion. The Lord was like an enemy. He swallowed up Israel. He swallowed up all of its places. He destroyed its forts. He filled the people of Judah with sorrow and sadness. The Lord's temple was like a garden, but he completely destroyed it. He destroyed the place where he used to meet with his people. He made Zion's people forget their appointed feast and Sabbath days. When he was very angry, he turned his back on king and priest alike. The Lord deserted his altar. He left his temple. He handed the walls of Jerusalem's places over to its enemies. They shouted loudly in the house of the Lord. You would have thought it was the day of an appointed feast. The Lord decided to tear down the walls around the city of Zion. He measured out what he wanted to destroy. Then he destroyed it with his powerful hand. He made even its towers and walls sing songs of sadness. All of them fell down. Its gates sank down into the ground. He broke their metal bars and destroyed them. Its king and princes were taken away to other nations. There is no law anymore. Jerusalem's prophets no longer receive visions from the Lord. The elders of the city of Zion sit silently on the ground. They have sprinkled dust on their heads. They have put on black clothes to show how sad they are. The young women of Jerusalem have bowed their heads towards the ground. I've cried so much I can't see very well. I'm suffering from deep down inside. My heart is broken because my people are destroyed. Children and babies are fainting in the streets of the city. They say to their mothers, "Where can we find something to eat and drink?" They faint like wounded soldiers in the streets of the city. Their lives are slipping away in their mother's arms. City of Jerusalem, what can I say about you? What can I compare you to? People of Zion, what are you like? I want to comfort you. Your wound is as deep as the ocean. Who can heal you? The visions of your prophets were lies. They weren't worth anything. They didn't show you the sins you had committed. That's why you were captured. The messages they gave you were lies. They led you down wrong path. All those who pass by clap their hands and make fun of you. They laugh at you and shake their heads at the city of Jerusalem. They say, could that be the city that was called perfect and beautiful? Is that the city that brought joy to everyone on earth? All of your enemies open their mouths wide against you. They laugh at you and grind their teeth. They say, we have swallowed Jerusalem's people up. This is the day we have waited for, and we've lived to see it. The Lord has done what he had planned to do. He has made what he said come true. He gave the command long ago. He had destroyed you without pity. He has let your enemies laugh at you. He has made them stronger than you are. People in the city of Zion, cry out from your heart to the Lord. Let your tears flow like a river day and night. Don't stop at all. Don't give your eyes any rest. Get up, cry out as the night begins. Tell the Lord all of your troubles. Lift up your hands to him. Pray that the lives of your children will be spared. At every street corner they faint because they are so hungry. Jerusalem says, Lord, look at me. Think about my condition. Have you ever treated anyone else like this? Should women have to eat their babies? Should they eat the children they've taken care of? Should priests and prophets be killed in your own temple? Young people and old people alike lie dead in the dust of my streets. My young women and young men have been killed with swords. You killed them when you were angry. You put them to the death without pity. You sent for terrors to come against me on every side. It was as if you were inviting people to enjoy a feast day. Because you were angry, no one escaped. No one was left alive. I took good care of my children and brought them up, but my enemies have destroyed them. I'm a man who has suffered greatly. The Lord used the Babylonians to punish our people. He has driven me away. He has made me walk in darkness instead of light. He has turned his powerful hand against me. He has done it again and again all day long. He has worn my body out. He has broken my bones. He has surrounded me and attacked me. He has made me suffer bitterly. He has made things hard for me. He has made me live in darkness like those who are dead and gone. He has built walls around me. I can't escape. He has put heavy chains on me. I call out and cry for help, but he won't listen to me when I pray. He has put up a stone wall to block my way. He has made my paths crooked. He has been like a bear waiting to attack me. He has been like a lion hiding in the bushes. He has dragged me off of the path. He has torn me into pieces. He has left me helpless. He has gotten his bow ready to use. He has shot his arrow at me. The arrow from his bag have gone through my heart. My people laugh at me all the time. They sing and make fun of me all day long. The Lord has made my life bitter. He has made me suffer bitterly. He made me chew stones that broke my teeth. He has walked all over me in the dust. I have lost all hope of ever having any peace. I have forgotten what good times are like, so I say my glory has faded away. My hope in the Lord is gone. I remember how I suffered and wandered. I remember how bitter my life was. I remember it very well. My spirit is very sad deep down inside of me. But here is something else I remember, and it gives me hope. The Lord loves us very much, so we haven't been completely destroyed. His loving concern never fails. His great love is new every morning. Lord, how faithful you are. I say to myself, the Lord is everything I will ever need, so I will put my hope in him. The Lord is good to those who put their hope in him. He is good to those who look to him. It is good when people wait quietly for the Lord. It is good when people wait quietly for the Lord to save them. It is good for a man to carry a heavy load of suffering while he is young. Let him sit alone and not say anything. The Lord has a place. Wow, let's do that again. It is good for a man to carry a heavy load of suffering while he is young. Let him sit alone and not say anything. The Lord has placed that load on him. Let him bury his face in the dust. There might still be hope for him. Let him turn his cheek towards those who would slap him. Let him be filled with shame. The Lord doesn't turn his back on people forever. He might bring suffering, but he will also show loving concern. How great his faithful love is. He doesn't want to bring pain or suffering to people. Every time people crush prisoners under their feet, the Lord knows all about it. When people refuse to give a man his rights, the Most High God knows it. When people don't treat a man fairly, the Lord knows it. Suppose people order something to happen. It won't happen unless the Lord has planned it. Troubles and good things alike come to people because the Most High God has commanded them to come. A man who is still alive shouldn't blame God when God punished him for his sins. Let's take a good look at the way we're living. Let's return to the Lord. Let's lift up our hands to God in heaven. Let's pray to him with all of our hearts. Let's say, we have sinned, we have refused to obey you, and you haven't forgiven us. You have covered yourself with the cloud of your anger. You have chased us. You have killed our people without pity. You have covered yourself with the cloud of your anger. Our prayers can't get through to you. You have made us become like trash and garbage among the nations. All of our enemies have opened their mouths wide to swallow us up. We are terrified and trapped. We are broken and destroyed. Streams of tears flow from my eyes. That's because my people are destroyed. Tears will never stop flowing from my eyes. My eyes can't get any rest. I'll sob until the Lord looks down from heaven. I'll cry until he notices my tears. What I see brings pain to my spirit. All of the people in my city are suffering so much. Those who were my enemies for no reason at all hunted me down as if I were a bird. They tried to end my life by throwing me into a deep pit. They threw stones down at me. The water rose and covered my head. I thought I was going to die. Lord, I called out to you. I called out from the bottom of the pit. I prayed, please don't close your ears to my cry for help. And you heard my appeal. You came near when I called out to you. You said, do not be afraid. Lord, you stood up for me in court. You saved my life and set me free. Lord, you have seen the wrong things people have done to me. Stand up for me again. You have seen how my enemies have tried to get even with me. You know all about their plans against me. Lord, you have heard them laugh at me. You know all about their plans against me. You have heard my enemies whispering among themselves. They speak against me all day long. Just look at them sitting and standing there. They sing and make fun of me. Lord, pay them back. Punish them for what their hands have done. Cover their minds with a veil. Put a curse on them. Lord, get angry with them and hunt them down. Wipe them off the face of the earth. Look at how the gold has lost its brightness. Look how dull the fine gold has become. The sacred jewels are scattered at every corner. The priceless children of Zion were worth their weight in gold, but now they are thought of as clay pots made by the hands of a potter. Even wild dogs nurse their young pups, but my people are as mean as ostriches in the desert. When our babies get thirsty, their tongues stick to the roofs of their mouths. When our children beg for bread, no one gives them any. Those who once ate fine food are dying in the streets. Those who wore fancy clothes are now lying in piles of trash. My people have been punished more than Sodom was. It was destroyed in a moment. No one offered it a helping hand. Jerusalem's princes were brighter than snow. They were whiter than milk. Their bodies were redder than rubies. They looked like sapphires, but now they are blacker than coal. No one even recognizes them in the streets. Their skin is wrinkled on their bones. It has become dry as a stick. Those who have been killed with swords are better off than those who have to die of hunger. Those who are hungry waste away to nothing. They don't have any food from the fields. With their own hands, loving mothers have had to cook even their own children. They ate their children when my people were destroyed. The Lord has become very angry. He has poured out this burning anger. He started a fire in Zion. It burned up the very foundation. The kings of earth couldn't believe what was happening. Neither could any of the world's people. Enemies actually attacked and entered the gates of Jerusalem. It happened because Jerusalem's prophets had sinned. Its priests had done evil things. All of them spilled the blood of those who did what was right. Now those prophets and priests have to feel their way along the streets like people who are blind. The blood of those they killed has made them unclean, so no one dares to even touch their clothes. Get away, you are unclean. People cry out to them, go away, get out of here, don't touch us. So they run away and wander around. Then people among the nations say they can't stay here anymore. The Lord himself has scattered them. He doesn't watch over them anymore. No one shows the priests any respect. No one honors the elders. And that's not all. Our eyes grew tired. We looked for help that never came. We watched from our towers. We kept looking for a nation that couldn't save us. People hunted us down no matter where we went. We couldn't even walk in our streets. Our end was near. We only had a few days to live. Our end had come. Those who were hunting us down were faster than eagles in the sky. They chased us over the mountains. They hid and waited for us in the desert. Zedekiah, the Lord's anointed king, was our last hope, but he was caught in their traps. We thought he would keep us safe. We expected to continue living among nations. People of Edom, be joyful. You who live in the land of Uz, be glad. But the cup of the Lord's anger will also be passed to you. Then you will become drunk. Your clothes will be stripped off. People of Zion, the time for you to be punished will come to an end. The Lord won't keep you away from your land any longer, but he will punish your people. He will punish your people of Edom. He will show you the evil things you have done. Lord, think about what has happened to us. Look at the shame of our enemies have brought on us. The land you have gave us has been turned over to outsiders. Our homes have been given to strangers. Our fathers have been killed. Our mothers don't have husbands. We have to buy the water we drink. We have to pay for the food we use. Those who chase us are right behind us. We're tired. We can't get any rest. We put ourselves under the control of Egypt and Assyria just to get enough bread. Our people before us sinned, and they are now dead. We are being punished because of their sins. Slaves rule over us. No one can set us free from their powerful hands. We put our lives in danger just to get some bread to eat. Robbers in the desert might kill us with their swords. Our skin is hot as an oven. We are so hungry we're burning up with fever. Our women have been raped in Zion. Our virgins have been raped in the towns of Judah. Our princes have been hung up by their hands. No one shows our elders any respect. Our young men are forced to grind grain against the mill. Our boys almost fall down as they carry heavy loads of wood. Our elders don't go to the city gate anymore. Our young men have stopped playing their music. There isn't any joy in our hearts. Our dancing has turned into sobbing. All of our honor is gone. How terrible it is for us. We have sinned, so our hearts are weak. Our eyes can't see very clearly. Mount Zion has been deserted. Wild dogs are prowling all around on it. Lord, you rule forever. Your throne will last for all time to come. Why do you always forget us? Why have you deserted us for so long? Lord, please bring us back to you. Then we can return, make our lives like new again. Or have you completely turned away from us? Are you really that angry with us? Very much so. Wow, yes. It's interesting. I just opened up to a bookmark in here, right? And I opened to Psalm 137. And I found that one rather entertaining because it reminded me of Modest Yahoo. Psalms are so beautiful, and I almost would like to read every single one. I do hope that you enjoyed spending time with me, and I will see you next time. Aho.